Hello again. It's Lindsay, y'all. Today we're going to talk about misgendering. Because it happened to me today. So I thought it might be a good topic to touch on. I think I've mentioned it a few times before, but haven't really talked about it in depth. So here we go. So to catch you up on today, and it wasn't. So let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. I should make notes for these things, but I didn't, and so you get this unedited view of how I operate. I know it's very exciting. So, misgendering, in case you didn't know, is when you are referred to as the wrong gender. So if you're a woman and somebody calls you he or him, or if you're male and somebody calls you she or her, or if you're non-binary and somebody calls you pronouns that are not your pronouns, things like that. So for trans people, it's a pretty common thing to get misgendered, especially if you're closeted. More than likely you're going to be misgendered because you're going to be referred to as the gender that you look like. But if you're out and you're trying to present as your actual gender, it can sting a bit. And so I think there's this balance that we all have to find to figure out how to be gendered correctly when we have a lot working against us. Obviously, with time and hormones and surgeries, if that's your thing, there are definitely things ways that your body can change. Voice training helps too, to get gendered correctly. And, there are other little tips and tricks that you can do. There are hip pads or breast forms, or which are, sort of like a step up from like the chicken cutlets that a lot of women use. And so I know trans women that use those too. There's things you can do with makeup, things you can do with clothes. But there are all these things that come together that can potentially help with that. And so I know people that go all out, full femme, before they even start hormones. I was not one of those people. And frankly, I don't go all out, full femme. I still don't do makeup. I know I've mentioned that before. And I will at some point. But I don't necessarily feel like I need it. I'm very lucky to have pretty good skin, so I don't feel like I need something for that. So I don't know, maybe some eyes or lip stuff. I don't know. Clearly, I'm an expert on this. But yeah, so I'm not doing that. But I made a decision pretty early on when I decided to transition that I'm going to dress how I want to dress, how I'm comfortable dressing, and I'm not, like, obviously I think there's dressing for situations, and there's my signature yawn, I guess, is a thing now. So you dress for situations, if you're going to a wedding or something, you want to dress appropriately for that. But as far as like feeling obligated to dress in a feminine way to make sure that people are gendering me correctly, that's a decision I made to not do that, to not dress in a way that I felt inauthentic to me at the time, in the day, in the moment, whatever. And so I don't. Which doesn't mean that I don't dress in a feminine manner. I went out for coffee with a friend, another gal I know off of a server online, a Discord server, and we had coffee. She was coming through town, and I wore a dress and a nice denim jacket and big old hoop earrings, and just kind of teased my wavy hair out a little bit and made that look pretty good. Um, and yeah, so I went out, had coffee, and had a good time. And I don't think I got misgendered at all. Um, and most of the time, I don't think I get misgendered most of the time. I think I invoke some confusion or evoke some confusion. I don't know, whatever the word is. Um, I think sometimes people aren't sure, which is better than being called a guy or he, him, for me. Obviously, I would love to be just seen as a woman all the time, but I try to set realistic expectations. But today, I just felt like throwing on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and a hoodie. What you see right here. And I didn't really feel like doing anything with my hair, so it just kind of is what it is today. Yeah. And I've always got earrings in because these are less than a year old and I really don't want them to grow back. But these are just some small hoops, so nothing too crazy. And that's it. Like, bracelets because I wear bracelets every day. And my nails were already painted, so I didn't do anything there. But yeah, that was me. That was casual today. So, I had to run some errands this morning, so I put in a mobile order for a coffee and a breakfast sandwich, and so stopped to pick that up on my way to do my errands. And when I stopped in at the coffee shop, there was a fire department vehicle out front, and there were no cars in the parking lot, and the drive-through was closed. So, and I saw the employees sort of filing out of the building and setting themselves at a table on the patio. And so I was like, okay, well, I've already ordered my food, so I guess I need to at least see what's going on. So I parked and I put on my mask as we all do these days. And I grabbed my purse and I walked over to the patio and just kind of like, so I guess I'm not getting my drink, am I? And one of the folks that worked there was like, "Are you Lindsay?" It's like, "Yep, that's me." It's like, "Oh, I just made your drink." And it's like, "I'm guessing there's no chance I'm going to get that, is there?" And there was like, I guess there's a guy. He was the manager, and he turned to the guy who had made my drink, and he said, "I think it's probably okay. You can run in and grab his drink." His drink. And I know he's stressed out with it, whatever it was this gas leak thing that was going on, apparently, supposedly. And I know I'm super casual today, but I thought there might be enough of the clues, enough cues there. I mean, my face is definitely feminized quite a lot, after almost a year on hormones. My hairline still sucks, but it's not as bad as it could be. And I've got this nice, at this point, that's what is that, chin length, I guess, kind of wavy hair, and earrings, painted nails, bracelets. My jeans are like a feminine style, I think. He's carrying a purse, and also boobs. They're not much, but they're there. I think they're kind of obvious. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just wishful thinking. I don't know. But so I got misgendered at the coffee shop. And I didn't make a big deal out of it. Mostly because I'm probably never going to see that guy again. It's not worth the effort in that regard. Also, I'm just kind of non-confrontational. So I just didn't want to deal with it. And I go to that coffee shop a lot. It's the closest to my house. So I don't want them to remember me as that confrontational trans person. And that's probably just me overthinking it, but it's what I do, darling. It's what I do. So yeah, I let it go, but I didn't really let it go because I'm making a video about it now. I thought about it after I got home running errands. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna make a video about that. So here I am. Yeah. And I said that I don't dress up for expectations and things, but like, I don't know. It's not entirely true. Like, my company, we've got new leadership and I've got this new group of execs, and I'm in meetings with them definitely once a week for the foreseeable future, but it's been 2 a week for several weeks at this point. And so I do put in a little bit of effort to look a little bit nicer, and I don't necessarily have to. Like, my boss shows up in a t-shirt, and some of the execs show up in a t-shirt. It's not like, that'd be fine, but I think for me, that is where I did kind of break my rule a little bit, because I felt like I had something to prove. Because when the new leadership came in and everything, I was still legally my dead name, and at a minimum, some of them were aware of it, because we're a small enough company that I know that, like, my boss went through with the new leaders and talked about each individual person to some extent. And so I know he told me when they were going down the list, they got to my name and it was my old name. And so my boss was like, oh, but she goes by Lindsay now. And they talked about it. And then he found out through that conversation that they're actually, we're a trans friendly company. And I guess there were already trans people in that organization, and which was all good to hear. But I mean, not that I expected to pass and stealth with them, but the fact that they already kind of knew that going in was, they knew my old name, and that, I don't know, I don't love that. Couldn't be helped. So, yeah, when we started with the new company, because I went off on a tangent about that, the new leaders are all about video calls. Okay, since everybody's working from home, that's sort of the solution to sort of that isolation and things like that, is video calls. Up until that point, since we've been working from home since March, and it's, was September 1st when this went through. So March through September, a good like 6 months, nobody at work saw me except for a few people that I was friends with. For the most part, nobody really saw me and didn't see the transition in action. So it was kind of nerve-wracking for me to get on those video calls, literally like in the first week of September there. And so I did put in a little bit more effort and dress things up a little bit, and tried to assert my femininity a little bit. I'm starting to feel like I can relax on that. Like, I feel like I had something sort of to prove, and I'm not necessarily feeling that now. Like, especially now that my name is legally changed, although we're still finding paperwork and things that need to be updated, but I think that's just going to be the process for a while. But yeah, so I haven't been misgendered yet by any of the new folks that we're working with, and that's really good. Actually, literally the first meeting I jumped on with them, it was a Zoom call, and I was on my personal computer, and I hadn't logged into Zoom in a while, And so it was set to like the guest settings. I had never updated my name on that. So literally my first meeting with these people, with these new leaders, my screen pops up, and there in the corner it has my dead name. And a lot of credit to the CEO. He, if he saw it, he didn't acknowledge it. He said, "Oh, hey, and there's Lindsay." Which I guess, how would he have known that I'm Lindsay? So I feel like there was that association. So I got super flustered and was like, I'm going to drop the call real quick and then I'll come back in. And so I dropped it and fixed it and then came back in, and it was fine. But it was just one of those, like, of course that would happen, you know? So be it. But yeah, misgendering sucks. And I've not been, I don't, as far as I know, I haven't been intentionally misgendered at this point. It's all accidental. Whether it's people who knew me before I started transitioning, and it's not even that late. I don't know why I keep yawning so much. I'm going to get a drink of water real quick. Hold on. Okay. So, yeah, so it's old friends and colleagues and family that are maybe still adjusting to my transition. And so that's where some of the dead naming and the misgendering comes in. And then it's like I said, it's people in public, like the guy today who just, I read his mail. And part of it, I'm sure, is I opened my mouth. Like, he may not have even looked at me at all, and he just heard my voice, which is still consistently read his mail. I am working on voice training. I know I said I was going to do more of these videos and really apply some of that. And I think I am, to the extent of things that I've started to more internalize. But as far as like really consciously applying it, I'm not doing as much of that. Although I did get a compliment over the weekend. There's a different Discord server that I'm on that's very trans friendly, and there was a younger trans girl on there who private messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you have any tips for voice? Because I thought yours sounds really good." And that really, really kind of shocked me. But that evening, we had been playing games with a larger group of people, and she was she wasn't one of the core group that's usually there. But we're always welcoming to new people, and so I did put in a little bit of effort that night to try to adjust my voice some. So I guess it paid off, and I should probably just try to do that more. I don't think it was a huge shift, but I think it was, I guess it was good enough for her. So I don't know. I need to apply more of it. I do. And I really need to practice more. I'm not putting in as much work as I should be. I'm still hitting it every day, just not as much as I should be. But I have another appointment with my SLP tomorrow morning, so we'll see how that goes. So maybe I'll try to use it there. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about being misgendered there. Like, the places that I go regularly, like at this point, doctor's offices and things like that, and at work for the most part, except for, I think it's been a while since somebody misgendered me on a work call, because I've been out for 4 months, a little over 4 months at this point at work. So I think people are mostly getting it. But yeah, it's those usual places I don't get misgendered. the places where they know, even, and it's like a double-edged sword a little bit. It's like they're not misgendering me because they know that I'm trans. It's not that they're just randomly, like, unconscious split second decision in the moment be like, that's a woman. I've gotten it a couple of times, but for the most part, I haven't gotten mammed yet. Somebody did refer to me as her. The context was, like, I had my purse out and there was a comment about that and something about her purse. And so, like, that'll do it. Since guys don't usually wear purses. So, I'm trying to think, there was another one recently, but I don't remember what it was. So, I don't know. I dream of the day that I can go out dressed like I was today and just get gendered correctly. That I don't have to worry about being misgendered. I mean, I know there's aspects of my body that will absolutely not change. And there's other things that could change but might not. I don't have much of a butt. And in theory, HRT could help with that. Or it could help throw a little extra fat on my thighs and my hips. I don't know. My thighs are kind of chunky right now anyway, I think. But, hopefully HRT will continue to do stuff in the chestal region. I'm sure my face could become even girlier through fat redistribution and things like that. Continuing to grow my hair out and doing stuff with that. I think it'll help to be able to do more with this. I don't like how far back this goes. Which actually it goes back further on this side. But the way I wear my hair, which was not necessarily intentional that this side was worse. That's just how it wanted to go when I started growing it out. So I was like, okay, you go this way. So hopefully things will continue to come together. I just watched a video from a woman whose videos I started watching early when I started, once I realized I was trans, and I found them to really be really helpful. Her name's Kate Madden, and I'll share a link, especially to this latest video. But it was talking about the things you need to know when you're thinking about going full time, and presenting as your gender. And so she talked about misgenderings and dead namings in there, and she's full time 2 years at this point, and still gets misgendered from time to time. And sometimes she'll be okay until she starts talking, and then somebody might kind of clock her based on her voice. And she talked about how she deals with that. And I won't go into all of that. It's not my video. But like I said, I'll share it. So I think she's got some really good content, and I've found it very helpful over the last year. So yeah. I think that's all I've really got. I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. Talk about my experience today. If you heard the clicking, it's because I'm clicking a pen because I'm a fidgety person. So anyway, I'm going to put that down. Anywho, if you like this video, like, subscribe, share, and yeah, until next time, love and hugs.